Now, joining me in the studio to discuss this is the administrator, Down Syndrome Foundation Nigeria, Aanu Sebanjio. Thank you so much for joining us on TVC News.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Well, before we talk about so many other things, because Down syndrome has a lot of meaning to it and implication and all that. Let's talk about the concept itself, that condition itself rather,
okay.
Down syndrome, because for the benefit of those who are hearing this for the first time or those who probably don't even know, what is it about?
Well, it's a genetic condition. Down syndrome itself is a genetic condition that is characterized by a child having one extra chromosome. From the father, there should be 23. From the mom, there should be 23. Then we should have 46. But we have 47 in children that have Down syndrome. That is, we have duplication of chromosome 21 in those children. And so we have children with Down syndrome or persons with Down syndrome in our society.
Well, this is something that we're trying to, day in, year out, we are trying to understand why it's called, the causes of it, and then how to handle it prenatally or postnatally. But then this theme for this year, connect, what does it tend to achieve?
Yes, the word connect is so ambiguous, let me say, because to different parts of the world, they're looking at different things. For example, in New York today, the big word connect, they're using it to look at barriers and solutions to problems of persons with Down syndrome. And Africa generally, we're looking at connect, we are connecting and exploring the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on the health and education of persons with Down syndrome. But at Down Syndrome Foundation Nigeria, we are looking at the word connect, we are looking at it as having persons with Down syndrome being fully included in the society. We are looking at an inclusive society. We are looking at having them being included in the area of employment, education, and all that. But we're focusing on employment because quite a number of them have skills. For other forms of disability, probably visual impairment, hearing impairment, and all that, some of them are opportuned to have basic educational qualification and certificates, and they are employed by some organizations. But for persons with intellectual disability, with a particular attention to persons with Down syndrome, they are being marginalized. They are being looked down on. They see them as dunce, they see them as stupid, they see them as they don't know what to do and all that in the society. They are being stigmatized. And so we want to use this medium to create awareness and to advocate for this set of persons that they have skills. Right. There are so many things they can do, and employers of labor can actually engage them in the workforce.
Right. That makes me recall the fact that the disability bill actually has been passed, in the House of Assembly. So, if you want to talk about Down syndrome, that's part of it. Persons living with disabilities.
Exactly.
So
persons with
disability. Well, thanks for that. But so, are you also looking for ways to push this, back to, promulgating a law in this regard?
Sure. We are looking at that. For example, in the United Nations Convention of Rights of Persons with Disability, we call it UNCRPD. Yeah. There are some articles under it, and Article 27 focused on employment, the rights to employment of persons with disability. They all have rights to work. And I must tell you, 5% of these persons are supposed to be employed by organizations, either private or government. And few years to come, this will become a law that every organization must employ at least 5% of these persons. And there are some benefits attached to it. We are clamoring for this. We are advocating for it, that they are there. They have gone through different trainings on different vocational skills, though they might not have educational certificates and all that, but they are very, very consistent and they're good with whatever they are doing. So that law is so applicable to persons with Down syndrome too, because they are under that cluster. That
really makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure that Nigerians who are listening to these and those who are reading about it, becoming aware about these things will definitely allow it to, become, realistic, materialized, as it's in be. So, Administrator, Down Syndrome Foundation, Nigeria, Aanu Sebanjio. Thank you so much for coming on TVC.
You're welcome.